It is that time of the week when we bring you your favorite security and safety information program, Security Watch Africa, only on the Africa Independent Television. Welcome to your program today. My name still remains Patrick Abambo. Today we'll be looking on a number of issues that pertains to your safety and my safety. Because of so much to talk about and to show you, we'll be going straight to the program today. No time for the usual intro of our discussions. But Security Watch Africa, like you know, is planning and seriously preparing for the 17th Africa Security Watch Awards Conference and Exhibition. And already nomination have started. You all have been sending your nomination, and the nominees are already receiving their letters of nomination. And even our speakers, those who are going to speak at the conference in Dubai in November, are already being notified. One of them is actually the governor, the executive governor of Akwa Ibom State. Sit back as we bring you this report on our visit to the governor.
10th Africa Security Watch Awards Conference and Exhibition, built to hold in Dubai, United Arab Emirates in November 2022, has received endorsement and confirmation from the Executive Governor, Akwa Ibom State, Mr. Udom Emmanuel. Mr. Emmanuel, who is one of the lead speakers at the conference, disclosed that he has contributed greatly to the security architecture in Nigeria, particularly Akwa Ibom State. The endorsement and confirmation was given when the team from Security Watch Africa Initiative, led by the Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Patrick Abambo, paid a visit to the governor in Uyo, the state capital.
It's very exciting, it's quite encouraging, and it shows that whatever we contribute, no matter how little, people still watch it, and people take note of it. I'm one person that believes in development. And anywhere on earth, you can't develop if there's no peace. Wherever, what's peace? Peace is the absence of war, violence. Peace is where things can work, you know, and where development can thrive easily. So, without which we can't be talking about development. So, it's something that I really want to encourage, and that's why I'm here. Once you talk about security, you know you get me immediately. Once you talk about peace, you know you find me immediately.
The governor called on African leaders to up their games in making the continent a better place, as that is the only way to achieve peace and security.
Peace shouldn't elude Africa, because once we don't have peace, then what else do we stand for? Once anything happens in the whole world, we're always the whipping boys. So we should do everything possible in Africa to have peace and to live with one another in peace.
Governor Udom thanked the organizers of the awards and conference series and promised to be part of the event.
Security is something that I don't like to talk much on camera, but I want to say here that for IG to also nominate me to be considered for this is also something that really encourages me a lot. It's very exciting, it's quite encouraging, and it shows that whatever we contribute, no matter how little, people still watch it, that people take note of it. Everybody around me would let you know that I don't go for awards. I don't receive awards. The one I don't even come near is the one they call honorary doctorate degree. You know, if I couldn't read to obtain a PhD, means I don't deserve one. So I'm trying to wait until when they can release me to go and read for PhD, then I can go. So, but for this one, if we'll send in the letter, we'll respond officially. And I really want to thank you people, and be rest assured that my lecture notes will be ready.
He also commended the leadership style of Nigeria's Inspector General of Police, IGP Usman Akali Baba.
Extend my regards also to the IGP. He's a fantastic guy. He came here with a sense of purpose, and I pray that God should help him achieve his set goals and fulfill those purposes. But for us, we'll continue to partner with the police. You need to see the kind of SP we've just built and hand over to the police. Fully equipped, absolute 21st century equipment.
Earlier, in his brief speech, Mr. Patrick Agmambu praised Governor Emmanuel for the peace in the state and revealed how his nomination came about.
We have been monitoring what you are doing. Not just we as Security Watch, but the whole world have been seeing what you're doing, because at the inception of your government, there were palpable fear and insecurity around. Kidnapping was rampant, and people were kind of worried that the home for all, because Akwa Ibom was like a destination point for so many people, even from abroad, was being threatened. But we are glad that within some time, things got better, and not just getting better because you gave the order, but you also empowered. You also provided the necessary tools for them to work. We also noticed that you are not one of those who will shift the blames instead of doing what should be done. From our own finding, we also found out that you also invested heavily more in the technology aspect of it, which helped a lot, which is what we need on a national scope to help take care of the insecurity. The IGP, when the panel met with him, and one of the issues, because we want to encourage those who enable and strengthen security to work effectively. He said there's no other person, as far as Nigeria Police is concerned, and him, than the governor of Akwa Ibom State, because you have helped the police to effectively work and help them so many things with resources and encouragement. Your Excellency, that's, I must say that the lead person in nominating you is the Inspector General of Police himself. He told us, and that's because he believes you have worked, and I don't think we have any doubts to that.
Africa Security Watch Awards Conference and Exhibition, organized annually by Security Watch Africa since 2004, except in 2020 and 2021, is a platform for exchange of experiences and ideas towards the improvement of security and safety in Africa. It also provides avenue for the celebration of Africa's best in security, safety, governance, leadership, environment, hospitality, shelter, innovation in security, and use of technology in security. Ernest Enuneku, Security Watch Africa, Akwa Ibom State.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you for watching. Yeah, for time, we'll have to go quickly. During the week, also, the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, the Commandant General made presentation of checks to the next of kin of their personnel that were killed in active service, and that was quite heartwarming. And Security Watch Africa was there, and we'll bring you this report by Shekina Chinkere.
As part of boosting the morale of his personnel, the Commandant General, Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, Dr. Ahmed Abubakar Audi, presented checks for the group life insurance benefits to beneficiaries of NSCDC deceased personnel who lost their lives in the course of service to the nation. In his remarks, Dr. Audi spoke on the reasons for the gesture.
What we are doing today, celebrating our colleagues whom, having served meritoriously for some number of years, and they were called by our Creator. And today we are trying to recognize all the effort that they put in when they were in service. And that is why we have called their next of kin here today to give them certain amount of money as their group life benefits for the loved ones that they have lost while they were in service.
A total sum of 200 million naira was disbursed to beneficiaries. It was a sober moment for some of the beneficiaries.
And will wipe away all those tears by His grace. Take out. We will call the judge.
The CG thanked the government of President Muhammadu Buhari for the exercise. The representative of the Permanent Secretary Service Welfare Office, Alhaji Abubakar Mejama, advised personnel of NSCDC to immediately notify the insurance company of the loss of any of their personnel.
I want to advise the desk officer, particularly for the period of insurance covered by insurance companies, as soon as any of your personnel dies, don't waste time, even if it is that day, notify the insurance company that Mr. So died today. You are going to submit the full documentation of the deceased officer at a later date. But now you are forwarding notifying them that you lost so personnel. With that, the insurance company will now document that and write it pending when you submit the documentation.
Shekina Chinkere, reporting for Security Watch Africa.
Welcome back. Yes, now to the studio for our discussion of the day. We're looking at two things. One, today as we speak, the personnel of the Nigerian Army are nearly in all the 36 states of the Federation, including the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, trying to providing security, supporting the lead agency, which is Nigeria Police Force, to provide security to Nigerians. And this has stretched the manpower of the Nigerian Army. And some people have suggested that maybe there's the need to bring in retired but still strong officers to support and complement the work that is to be done. So we'll be looking at that with our guests. And also contracting, military contracting, does it provide, the way it is in Nigeria, does it provide the room for a chief of army staff to just dip his hand and carry money like some people are insinuating? I have in the guest already with me my brother, my friend, Suleiman Obagaya, the immediate past Deputy National President of Nigerian Guild of Editors. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you, my brother.
But before we start the studio discussion, let's hear this report put together by Elizabeth Tanko, who went on the street to speak with people. Let's hear their own view.
The disturbing and widespread insecurity confronting Nigeria has made the demand for Nigerian Army personnel to be deployed in almost all the states of the country. The Nigerian Army's internal security operations is in line with its constitutional mandate of rendering assistance in aid of civil authority when called upon. The main responsibility of the Nigerian Army is primarily to protect the territorial integrity of the nation. But today, the Army's presence in many states of Nigeria has thrown up a challenge of overstretching of its manpower. This has made many Nigerians to clamor for possible recall of some retired but strong personnel of the Nigerian Army to aid in the fight against insurgency and terrorism. Security Watch Africa was on the street to find out from Nigerians what they feel about this call.
That issue is in a good light, considering the fact that based on their experience as technocrats in the field of warfare, it will add a boost in curbing the insecurity challenges, because as a former military personnel trained in the field in the act of neutralization, I think they have a role to play. It will boost the younger ones that are already being recruited to boost up the activities of the military.
It's a positive development in view of the current security situation in the country. The available hands are not sufficient to tame the insurgency, banditry, violence, crimes in the land. So absorbing health servicemen is sure the way to go because of their experiences. These tested hands that have served meritoriously their father's land and their reservoir of knowledge. I believe by leveraging on their experiences, it will go a long way, to curb this.
There's nothing wrong in doing that. Nations do that, especially when it becomes so obvious that their manpower is stretched. And then we don't expect them also to be in the day-to-day running. They should stay back as resource persons, as think tank group, to give out knowledge, basically knowledge.
Security challenges in this country is so much cumbersome, and it requires people that have experience. Because taking time to train personnel, maybe recruit new personnel into the army, train them, put them in order, and send them to the field. I think now is what we need is experienced people. People who have been exposed to war, people who have been exposed to fields where there are much violent conflicts like that. So bringing them in, I think, is also going to be, as an advantage of it, as a disadvantage. But based on the security challenges we are having, and bringing them in should be a very good, welcome development.
These people are talking about, we have spent a lot of money on them, taking them outside there to go and study it. Let them come, and they have been in this our country, and they have served and retired in various capacity. Then based on that knowledge and they have acquired, let them now blend it to the existing ones so that they see which result we can get out of it.
Elizabeth Thanko, Security Watch Africa, Abuja.
Welcome back. Yes, you had the views of Nigerians on the streets, and particularly you are one person who have experience in most of the trouble areas where these personnel of the Nigerian Army are tested and used. Tell us, what is your view?
It's a very apt call, whose time has come. Definitely the Nigerian Army, or the Nigerian military in generality, is overstretched, operating in practically the 36 states of the Federation. It's not realistic. And how many of them are we talking about? A few hundreds of thousands, serving almost 250 million people. And in a country that has about 1 million, that is very huge in size. I have not forgotten the
square meter.
The square meter exactly, but I think it's about 1 million or so. So it's a very huge country with very large population, one of the highest in the world, indeed the highest in Africa, being served by only a few hundreds of thousands of personnel. So definitely, like the people that have been interviewed said, there is the urgent need for the military services to, as quickly as possible, establish or integrate the reserve forces, call them back to service. I know of many, and Nigerians of course know of so many military personnel that have been retired. I wouldn't say prematurely, maybe the time of retirement has come, but they are still very much active. They can do anything that those in service can do. So those people should be recalled so that they can continue to contribute towards our national security and development.
I know, looking at Nigeria Army particularly, I know so many retired personnel that are still very active, still available. The Chief of Army Staff is actually passionate, making use of most of them in terms of a think tank. The former Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General T.Y. Buratai, established the Nigeria Army Resource Center, which many of the retired people are there providing the resource. What do you think about extending and continuing, maybe making it more of something that institutionalizing it?
Yeah, General Farouk Yahya, the current Chief of Army Staff, is first proving himself as a versatile, capable, and excellent officer who is taken after his predecessor, General T.Y. Buratai. As you rightly said, Buratai had the foresight to establish the Nigerian Army Resource Center to make sure those that are retired have continued to contribute their best towards the security of this country, towards the socio-economic integration and development of the country. So this is already a platform that could now be used if we are talking about establishing a reserve force for the armed forces.
Of course, some countries
we already have them, many of them at the Nigerian Army Resource Center. It's very easy for the Army to simply meet them or call them to service, get them to do their best once more for the country. So it's a product of very serious foresight that should be commended.
Okay, not going away, not going too far from there. You know, during the week there was this issue because his name just came up talking about the former Chief of Army Staff General T.Y. Buratai, where there was a publication that his house was raided and cash were found and all that. But knowing the military contracting system, which is handled by the Ministry of Defense, tell us, what do you think about such publication, even though there have been statements, even from the ICPC, to say, look, we never read it, and this, what would you say?
Well, first of all, I think basically I want to say two things. One, I want to call on Nigerians to be very careful not to malign the military, because there is what looks like a deliberate effort by some Nigerians to castigate the military, malign it, cause all sorts of issues within the military establishment. It is going to affect the morale of the forces, and it is going to cause indiscipline, insubordination, and things like that. By the time you start castigating, I'm not saying when their generals or their chiefs go wrong, they shouldn't be, they shouldn't be mentioned. But we need to be very careful. Secondly, I'm a media person, and I know that there is nowhere in the media laws that give you power as a media person to castigate or concoct a story just because you don't like the pace of a person. General Buratai is someone who has served this country meritoriously. He did his very best. He was the longest serving Chief of Army Staff. He achieved quite a lot that a program like this of 30 minutes is not enough for us to say it all. But I want to remind Nigerians that even before he retired in January last year, I think in November or December 2020, there was a local government election in Borno State for the first time in many years. And that election took place. And because of the peace that the military was able, or particularly the Nigerian Army under Buratai was able to achieve, I remember Governor Zulum asking those who won the election to make sure they operate not from Maiduguri, but from the local governments, which means by and large peace has been restored. And let's also not forget the fact that before General Buratai or President Buhari came into being, there were as many as, I think, 20-something local governments that were in absolute control of Boko Haram. You know, these local governments were said to be the size of Belgium in Europe. But in no time, by the following year, Nigerian Army was able to wrest control from from these insurgents. So what is happening, of course, is a kind of guerrilla warfare. You know, for some time, these guys have been effectively defeated.
Because that's what some people are saying. So for some time, these guys have been defeated, and you're bringing this to demoralize this.
Yes, to demoralize and to cause all kinds of confusion. And we are helping them by giving them cheap publicity.
Yes.
By propagating all these kind of things. I wonder why Sahara reporters should concoct this kind of story. Is it that the newspaper, the online newspaper, doesn't know that thing called investigative journalism or what? I'm so disappointed, honestly, because it's a very serious allegation. And even the person who made that serious allegation, I think in March last year, the current NSA, Mongono, came out to say, no, he wasn't saying the service chiefs of Buratai and Co. stole that money. Of course, what he didn't say, and what the media ought to investigate, is that the army does not handle procurement. It doesn't even handle procurement. So that $1 billion that we keep talking about, it was the Ministry of Defense that handled the entirety of the amount. The Nigerian Army under Buratai did not handle even one naira or dollar. So for God's sake, we are all living here in Abuja. Many newspapers, even newspapers that are based in Lagos, Kano, and elsewhere, they have their representatives here. Why don't they send their representatives to the Ministry of Defense? Let's do some investigative journalism, for God's sake. Let's find out the truth and tell the truth, and tell Nigerians that same truth. If, for example, you have not given me any money, how can I steal the money? Or if I don't even see the money? These people have not even seen the $1 billion we are talking about, or any other money for that matter. They don't handle procurement. It's the Ministry of Defense that handles procurement. So we need to be very careful. It shouldn't be our business to be maligning respected individuals.
Maybe let me put this at your doorstep, because I know, even though you said you're not interested in any longer the politics of the the Nigerian Guild of Editors, but there's supposed to also be a gatekeeper for the practice of journalism somehow, especially the editors. Or does it mean that the online is not under your regulation?
Yeah, it's not every online platform that is under the regulation of the Nigerian Guild of Editors. And talking about media practice in general, it is the Nigerian Union of Journalists that should take up that responsibility. We, the editors, of course, as gatekeepers, we ensure as much as possible that items that are meant for publication are verified, they are sipped properly to ensure they are realistic, they are honest, they are true. So that's basically our responsibility. And of course, many newspapers are currently establishing the ombudsman decks to make sure items that are meant for publication are credible. So this is part of what we ensure is done in the newspaper, so that we do not end up losing our share of the market.
The mileage
because,
of
yes, by the time Nigerians start realizing we are dishing them falsehood, they will run away from us.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we are going to continue this because it's very, very important. The speech made by the president of Rwanda, Paul Kagame, talking about how the media contributed to the genocide in their country is one aspect we need to look into. Yes, we are signing up because we are getting signal to leave. But I must use this opportunity to say happy birthday, send happy birthday to somebody who has been supportive to Security Watch Africa from the sideline, talking about Peace. Jonathan, happy birthday. We really appreciate you from Security Watch Africa. You have been one of the pillars that has helped us this far. I believe that God will strengthen you and make you to grow better and stronger. Okay, yes, on a final note, because they say we must leave.
Okay.
I hope the media can do better and keep us safe.
Definitely the media can do better. Those that are misrepresenting the media are in the minority.
All right, okay. On that note, we'll come to the end of today's program. Join us again next week when we'll bring you another exciting edition. Bye for now.